Hello, so on this video I will show you how to prepare the model that we downloaded from the action pack, and I am using a hazed scene pack. So the file that you need is the model.fbx. You can download it from our D2L under week 9 or lecture for this week, title contents. So you will download the collector mail swat01.fbx and save inside scene folder. For the texture, you put it inside source images folder after you create your project. I I'll show you how to do it. So first I go to new project, and I'm gonna copy the name, new, and paste. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, so I'm gonna just call final, or how about polyfilm, and I'm gonna put inside my folder. I think mine's on week 9 now. Okay, set in there, accept. So now if I look at on my internet, Window Explorer, this is the project that I just created. So the subfolder, scene, and source images folder. So I can download. So right click and save link as. Now I already done it before, so basically I go to wherever my project directory is, polygon project, scene, and I'm gonna save. There we go. So, and then now on the texture map, you just save into source images folder. I already did that too. Okay, so now we're done with that. So under file menu, you're gonna choose import, and you just pick the FBX that you downloaded, and I am using a namespace, merge into scene, selected namespace, and rename incoming object that match import. Okay, so I'm gonna press A. Here we go. This is how it look. Right now the texture map is not showing up. That because let me turn on under shading, X-ray join, so that we can see the joint. I'm gonna turn on wireframe on shaded too. At the moment it's look like this, and let's fix texture mapping first. So basically, if I select the surface and I go to attribute editor, and when you look at on the attribute editor under a shape node, not shape node, you navigate it to the last tab, which is Lambert 24. That was the Lambert that came with the imported model. So now the color is the sample is turned black because Maya couldn't find where the image is. So basically it's still keeping the information of wherever the path name of the original imported model is. So right now um, it's under working texture. So basically we have to reassign the texture that we also copy and paste it inside source images folder. Um, Also, the name of the texture that has been used, it doesn't come with the pack. So I decided to use these image instead. So um, basically I think they will create it in Photoshop into different variant of the look of the texture and then export into PNG. So I picked this one, so we're gonna have to pick. And now when you look at on the directory, is correct now. It should be source images slash polyhaze. If I turn on texture, you will see it. So right now we need to remove the joint because later on we will be using a advanced skeleton to create the preset skeleton, and which you will see on the next video. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to make sure I will select the joint, just one joint, which is on the root, and it has been key. These are the technique that many people using it. I also use that too. When you create a finish the rig before you animate it, you select all the controller. In this case there's no controller, so they selected on the joint, and then you set the keyframe on frame 0. That's what I would do, 0, and then I move to 0, and then I just set the key. So if I press S, so basically oh no, press keyframe right there, here we go, and this is 0. Now after you set the initial keyframe on the initial pose on all the controller, we don't have it here, you will move it back to 1. So it's mean if you did something like, for example, if I rotate, obviously these joints are incorrect. I don't know, this must be some mistake there. So let's say if I bend the elbow like that, okay, and I want to detach skin, I could go to frame 0 and oh sorry, this doesn't have a keyframe on it, so well, I forgot. Let me undo quick. Okay, so on frame 0 this one will be setting key too. So when the frame 1 you animate it, you can go back to 0. I hope this makes sense. If it's not, I will reinforce it again later in the future. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to detach. Now to detach the skinning deformer from the object, you need to select one of the joint, and under rigging module you're gonna go to skin and go to bipose. So it should say result 1 or complete result, go to bipose, or bipose, go to bipose result, something like that. It means we are in the right track. The reason is so that it shift all the deformation into the initial pose, so when we detach the pose, it doesn't leave everything different from the original or the initial bind position of the geometry. That was it. So now you can select the geometry, go to skin and unbind skin. You don't have to use any option because this is the default that we want to use. So now after unbind it, most of the time No, all the time when you unbind surface, these will be removed. I believe that the original file, they freeze, they lock, not freeze, lock all of these attributes before they skin it. So I'm gonna unlock. Now I do not need join set anymore, so I'm gonna delete it by selecting the root. Okay, so now let me undo quick. I forgot to mention, because the class doesn't need to be deformed, that's why it has been just parenting to the root joins, not the root joins, one of the joins. So I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna shift expand right here. I need under the head join, so I have to remove it. So shift P to remove outside of the joint hierarchy. So now when I select the root join, I can delete them. The class still on. So now you may not need the class. It's up to you. The reason is let's say if I hide it in the layers, here we go. So because it's a polygonal look, really facet geometry, not much detail on the model. What you can do is you can just leave out the classes so that you don't have to render transparency. But if you wanted to do, you can. So I can right click, create SI favorite. I'm gonna use Lambert, and I'm gonna call a SWAT A class Lambert. You can name like Google class, or something like that. And I'm gonna change transparency to be, let's say if I want to have a little kind of a brown hold on, like brown tin glass color, and then I can reduce the transparency. Here we go. So now you can see a little bit of the transparency and see the eye. Okay, so you could do that too. It's totally up to you. So now I should name this, how about a glass layers, no, sorry, let's name a SWAT mesh well, you might have more than one police SWAT, so I'm gonna put A, say. So now when you select the geometry, let me turn that off quick, we need to separate it. The reason that we need to separate, because we want to be able to animate eye movement driven by controller that all eyes are attached to one joint, eyebrow too. Now we don't want to deform them, so we don't want to skin them to the joint, because it's going to create a stretch and something like that when deformed it, including the goggle and helmet, that we don't want to deform that. Everything else will be deformed. So we're gonna separate this geometry, this set of geometry. These are single mesh but multiple element inside. So when I right click and shift, shift and right clicks and choose separate. Now after you separate it, take a look at this hierarchy. So the surface has been separated now, but it's still under a group node with a hidden transform 1. The reason that has Maya assigned this because each surface has a separate input, which is the history. If you delete all the history here, let's see, if I shift select, edit, delete by type, history. and then now history is gone. Can you see the transform hidden transform node 1 has been removed? Let me undo quick. I want to show you what it is, because sometimes you may not do that, and something might happen. The surface shader might be removed if you do something like this. Let's say you might think that you wanted to ungroup, and then now they are separate group. But however, normally if you ungrouped it, the group node will be removed from the scene. It's unlike you shift P, which is unparent. If you unparent, the regular group will stay, but when you choose ungroup, the regular group that you ungroup will be removed. However, in this case, it has not been removed. There's a reason, because each surface, if you don't delete history, it has a history of a information that has been assigned before, which we did with the Lambert, right? We assigned the Lambert. Let me show you this. Okay, I'm gonna expand. It was collapsed, so this is the shortcut for Hypershade. You can go to under Window, Rendering Editor, Hypershade, the same thing. So I'm gonna open up Hypershade, and we already know that if I make the little larger, nope, that's too large. Here we go. Lambert number 4. I should rename it. I'm gonna click a show input and output, and this is the node. Let me make it bigger for today. Here we go. That's the node, and these contain color information, but this node is the shader node that has been assigned on the single mesh with multiple element that we separated, right? Okay, so let me rename this so that we can remember. Police SWAT A, because I might have more than one police SWAT Lambert, so that easy to identify what it is. So now I'm gonna close it, not close, collapse. Here we go. So what it does is this. If I delete manually, here we go, and can you see it's turned green? What it does is Maya doesn't know what to do with the shader on the object that has been deleted the incoming transform, because, and can you see I also remove the history on each surface manually. Well, you can do this. It's nothing wrong with that. What you need to do is you need to reassign the shader so that it has a surface shader property. So to do that, you just select all of them, and then you right click on the shader and assign. It will come back. Okay, so now when you do on your own, if you know that you have to delete history before you remove the group, you do it first. If you do it last, like like what I just showed you, you have to reassign the surface. So let me make it clear. I'm gonna undo it into the same stage. Here we go. So this is the original state after we separate the object. Okay, so now what I need to do is I'm gonna select all the surface and remove the input by delete history. Now the hidden surface transform 1's gone. Can you see? So now if I go to edit and ungroup, can you see the group node is gone too? Because this is the proper way to do. However, sometimes you might make an accident like what I just showed to you. So now we are almost ready. So the only thing we need to do is we're gonna put every mesh inside this layer. But before we do that, let me remove the one off. Here we go. So we should rename it. So that one, the helmet, I'm gonna call SWAT A helmet. Okay. And then this is the goggle, SWAT A goggles. There we go. Oh, I should add the word mash, because that will identify what object is. And now the brow, so SWAT A, I should have copied this name. Okay, and brow, eyes, brow, mesh. Hold on, let me copy this so that I don't have to keep doing it. So now the eye, so this one will be the right eye. So I'm gonna call RI. Okay, copy that. And then the LI, no, just LI. There we go. And then this is the body, so I'm gonna just call body. And now we have a vertical pouch, so I'm gonna rename, choose the rename command. I'm gonna call vertical pouch. Okay, so it'll be pouch. This is pouch 0. Or you can do pouch 2, something like that. This is horizontal. So I'm gonna put is pouch match. Or this is small pouch, or you can call square, or it's up to you. I'm gonna put SM pouch. Okay. And we name all of them, so we're gonna put all of these surface. You just select the surface, right click, and add selected object into the layers. Now I can enable. So, and then we are ready to use a advanced skeleton now. So let's watch the next video.